What is the fate of Job Corps? The Job Corps is a U.S. Department of Labor program that provides vocational and educational training to young adults. The U.S. Department of Labor had announced a phased pause in operations at contractor-operated Job Corps centers, including the Keystone Job Corps Center in Drums. Now, a federal judge has since granted a preliminary injunction to stop that shutdown until a lawsuit against the move is resolved. Well, last week, Congressman Rob Bresnahan took part in a roundtable discussion at the Butler Township Municipal Building in Drums. He met with local and county community leaders to discuss the situation. The meeting was orchestrated by the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce.
Our chamber coordinated this roundtable event with the congressman, and we just wanted to do it with our local community partners, regional community partners, the Hazleton Career Link. We have our regional chamber presidents here, and it was just an effort, the business community, and it was just an effort to just provide information to the congressman about the Job Corps, real data, real statistics, real information, and also from nonprofit sector.
The Chamber's been behind the Job Corps all along. I know Mary Malone has been putting out things in support. This means a lot to the community, the Job Corps for here in Drums?
Yeah, it's a huge part of our community, and not just here in Butler Township and Greater Hazleton, but it really goes beyond. We had Tony Colombo here from Hazleton Helps, and he talked about how the Job Corps helps with the students help with his events and activities that he does through his nonprofit. Just one example that he provided was the supplies that they brought down to when there was floodings and different things that were not even in the community, and the Job Corps students helped with that. So it really goes above our community. However, they do tremendous things here. Not just the students, but also what the students are learning and gaining from being part of the Job Corps program, and then going out and succeeding in their jobs that they're training for.
So your fingers are crossed.
Yes, absolutely.
We have been staunch supporters of the Job Corps program through various different bipartisan letters, where over 200 legislators all wrote in support of the Job Corps program, as well as advocating for appropriation funding going into FY 2025. Today was really special because we got to hear a lot more on the ground of all of the economic impacts and what it actually means when you have students from the Job Corps actually helping out the local Little League and painting the dugouts or the various different food pantries. You support the Job Corps. I've always been a big believer in workforce development and generating and training the next generation of workforce. Northeastern Pennsylvania is an incredible place to call home. Within 1 day CDL drive, you can reach over 60% of the United States population. That's why we've seen so much economic development, but we also need to be training the next generation of workforce, and that's something that I felt that Job Corps does exceptionally well. So it certainly is frustrating to see what they are currently going through, and I'll continue to be an ardent supporter, even if it means going against the grain per se, to advocate through the various different budgetary processes, because I think we are unique. We have Red Rock as well as Keystone both merged together, and I learned a very interesting statistics today that we are number 17 out of 16? Number 16 out of how many different Job Corps? 250?
Over 250.
And I think that's a really impressive statistic.
Is that in size, number of students?
Success, and the various different metrics of graduation, literacy, as well as job placement. So that's an incredible success rate here. So we'll continue to advocate in Washington, D.C. I'm glad as of June 25th there was a stay on the closing of the various different facilities, and we'll continue to advocate each and every day.
Can they then just continue to operate as they were until this is determined one way or the other?
That's the plan. But something that was really disheartening is hearing over 200 students between both facilities had dropped out of the program. One specific student was someone who was battling homelessness. And the first time that they started to hear that there would be a closure that person had an opportunity for a bed immediately and left the program. And that's certainly not, that's not a story that we want to continue to replicate. We want to make sure that the Job Corps continues to stand and operate and function and create incredible skill sets for the next generation of worker beyond the metric of measurement from an economic perspective. You know, you are teaching and learning life skills. You are learning carpentries, healthcare, plumbing, heating, HVAC, electrical work, culinary. I mean, this is everything we need for the next generation of worker.
What was your biggest takeaway, I guess, from this meeting today with all the local people and that? What impressed you the most?
How passionate everyone is about the program, the administration of the program, and the true impact that it has on the ground with the local community. Hearing that, you know, they're already concerned about the volunteers that they're going to have for next Thanksgiving for the meals distributions. Getting to hear the caliber of the student that went through the painting program and then became an apprentice and is now a full journeyman painter, earning a family-sustaining career with the retirement and health insurance. Also, the amount of revenue from vendors locally, it's over $60 million of economic impact because of these two different facilities. So there's a lot more than what meets the eye when it comes to these programs. These are not just people living in a facility, learning how to do work and then going on their own way. These are our friends, our neighbors, our volunteers, as well as support for so many small businesses, whether that's the local sandwich shop or the local plumbing and heating contractor. It's much more than what meets the eye, and it was really exciting to get a much deeper look from a granular level of how impactful this was. Right now it's wait and see, and we'll continue to pen very opinionated letters in our support of the various different programs, and Job Corps specifically. But what we'll need to do is continue to advocate and make sure the appropriation process, that the appropriators understand how vital this is and how Job Corps could be weaved into every single aspect, whether that's workforce development, that's transportation infrastructure, that's our healthcare sector. There's not an industry or sector that isn't affected or won't be affected by the shuttering of Job Corps.